Welcome back. In this video, we are going to study about the working principle of two-stroke petrol or SI engine, also known as spark ignition engine. Two-stroke engines were used in two-wheelers before the four-stroke engines were introduced. Two-stroke engines are still being used today, for example, in go-kart, as they are lighter and more cost-effective than four-stroke engines. First, we'll learn the basic principles of engine in vehicles. If we pay attention to the vehicle exhaust, we can see the smoke, and smoke is produced when there is fire burning inside the engine. In fact, combustion is the basic principle of the engine. The reason behind it is combustion has potential energy in it, which can be converted into physical energy. But the question is how to get combustion inside the engine. Combustion occurs when fuel burns, but we cannot forget the fire needs oxygen. So in order to get combustion, we need fuel, oxygen and fire. Here fuel and air are mixed in carburetor in ideal scale, while fire is produced by spark plug by ignition system. Now when these three things mix together, combustion occurs. Here the physical energy we need is rotational motion. To solve this, there is a crank mechanism under the piston. Its function is to convert reciprocating motion of the piston to rotational motion. In addition, the crank mechanism makes the piston move back upward so that the combustion can be done again so that the engine can run longer. Then the question is how to make combustion happen continuously. To understand this, we should know the working of two-stroke petrol or the SI engine. Now let us see the working principle of two-stroke petrol or SI engine. In two-stroke engines, the cycle of operations, that is suction, compression, expansion or also known as power stroke, and the exhaust are completed in one complete revolution of the crankshaft or in two strokes of the engine. Now what is this stroke? The distance moved by the piston from TDC, that is top dead center, to BDC, that is bottom dead center, is called stroke. In two-stroke engines, the piston moves from TDC to BDC and again from BDC to TDC. So in this two-stroke, the entire operation is carried out. That means the cycle is completed in one revolution of the crankshaft. In two-stroke engines, the operations are carried out on both sides of the piston, and these engines have one power stroke per revolution of the crankshaft. First, let us see the construction of two-stroke engines. It consists of one piston, crankcase is used for gas exchange, spark plug is provided for combustion, and also three ports, that is intake port, exhaust port and the transfer port. Now let us see its working principle. In a two-stroke engine, there are only two steps for complete combustion to occur. When the piston moves upward, the space below the piston is enlarged. In addition, the intake port, which was covered by the piston wall, now gets opened. This condition causes the air-fuel mixture suck into the crankcase chamber. Now the crankcase chamber is filled with fresh air-fuel mixture. In step 2, when the piston moves downward, the movement makes the crank chamber shrink so that the air-fuel mixture in the crank chamber is pushed into the combustion chamber through the transfer port. After that, return to the step 1 when the piston moves up again. The crank chamber enlarges so that the air and fuel mixture are sucked in while the combustion chamber, which consists of the air-fuel mixture, gets shrink. This condition makes the air-fuel mixture in the combustion chamber compress so that the temperature and pressure rises. At this time, the spark is produced by the spark plug so that the compressed air-fuel mixture in the combustion chamber burns and produces an expansion or the power stroke that pushes the piston down. This combustion is what we need to keep the engine in running. At the same time, the piston movement causes the crank chamber to narrow and the air-fuel mixture is pushed into the combustion chamber. Before the piston reaches the bottom dead center, the exhaust port gets opened. Air-fuel mixture from the crank chamber moves the combustion chamber and pushes the residual gases into the exhaust port. This process of removing the residual gases from the combustion chamber is called scavenging. When the piston reaches the bottom dead center, the residual gases are flushed out completely and the combustion chamber is filled with fresh air-fuel mixture. So remember, there are only two steps to be carried out. First step, when the piston is moving from BDC to TDC, the inlet port gets uncovered and the fresh charges get into the crankcase. Meanwhile, the fresh charges of the previous stroke which was present in the combustion chamber gets compressed. This is the step 1, and in the step 2, when the combustion takes place, after combustion the expansion or the power stroke occurs which pushes the piston down, and when this is pushed down, the exhaust valve gets uncovered and all the exhaust product is given out. Meanwhile, the fresh charges which was present here through the transfer port gets into the combustion chamber, and this fresh charges also help in the removal of the residual gases through the exhaust port. So this was the step 2 when the piston is moving from TDC to BDC. With this we conclude that the two-stroke engine has only 2 steps, and in each step 2 processes are carried out. The first step has intake and the compression processes, and step 2 consists of combustion or the power stroke and the exhaust. Hope you have understood the working principle of two-stroke petrol or SI engine, and all the concept of two-stroke engine has been cleared by this video. Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye for now.